Hello and welcome back to another video of Formula 1 Challenge 1995. Today is race 7 of the season, the British Grand Prix. We're more than halfway through the season by now, and apart from a couple of unlucky streaks, we're actually doing quite well for ourselves. If you haven't seen the last video, go and check it out. The French Grand Prix, it's been a really tough one, and unfortunately we finished with a DNF after the tires just gave up. And yeah, this time we're looking to get a much better result, and hopefully we'll be able to snap some points from the top guys just to stay in competition. And let's go and have a look at the standings. So as you can see, currently we're on P5 with 13 points, right in front of Frentzen, Berger and Lamy. So we're going to have a tough fight with these guys. Hill is already pulling away with a couple of points, so we're not really looking to fight the Williamses and the Benettons for the lead. So if we manage to stay around the place where we are now, I think we could be happy with that. So let's go and have another look at the constructor standings. Here we are. Benetton is having a massive lead over Williams and, well, everyone else, followed by Sauber, Ferrari and Simtek, our team, and it looks like we're going to fight it out for P3 with Sauber, Ferrari and Minardi, thanks to Lamy, who is just delivering very good results for a Minardi. So this is it. Without further ado, let's just move over to the qualifying and see where we end up on the grid. Let's go. And here we are with the qualifying session, starting the fast lap through the corner. It's actually pretty early, so I think we were the first one to come out for the qualifying, and yeah, we'll see what this will get us on the grid. I'm actually a lot better on this track than in France or in Canada, so hopefully we can get a better result here, and we'll see. Through the corner, maybe a bit slow. This one is a bit of a tricky one because I don't really see or find the right braking distance on it, so there's gonna be a bit of an issue with that. As long as we don't go too wide, that should be okay though. And these fast left and right handers might be a great point for overtakes on the race. So if we can keep having a good grip and the cornering speed like we usually do, then we might use these spots on the track to get some positions. And here we go a bit wide in the hairpin. That probably cost us some time as well, hopefully not too much. And here we are, and we just go on straight for another lap to try and get a better time. 1:33, that's really poor, probably mostly thanks to the mistake on the last hairpin. We just went too wide on there. And again, fast left right-hander, another left, and the straight. Now this might be the part of the track where we will probably struggle because of the usually poor straight line speed we have compared to the other guys we're looking to be racing, like Williams, Benetton, McLaren, even Ferrari. All of them has a superior straight line speed compared to us. So that's why we're hoping to use the corners to our advantage, where we can just get a better grip and probably many times also a better exit. And yes, as you can see, this lap is already a lot better than the previous one. We're more than a second ahead of ourselves. Now let's try to pay attention to the hairpin and just get it right. Not too bad. Not too bad. A bit of a poor exit though. And here we are. Let's see what's it gonna be. Again, 133. That's another poor time. So let's see where we end up at the end. That's P17. Well, at least it's better than it was in France and Canada, so not too bad. And again, we out-qualified our teammate Verstappen. So for the race, we start from P17. And here we are with the grid walk. He starts from pole position on his own and his team's home Grand Prix, followed by Michael Schumacher and Coulthard in the other Williams. Berger on P4. Frentzen in P5, as you can see, followed by Brundle in the Ligier. Häkkinen on P7, Bouillon P8 in the other Sauber. Irvine P9, Alesi P10, heavily out-qualified by his teammate. Herbert, very poor qualifying, only P11 in the other Benetton. Salo P12, Lamy, another great job from the Minardi, P13, Barrichello P14, Panis P15. Last couple of races hasn't been kind of on him, again out-qualified by his teammate. P16, Badoer. Here we are in P18, and you can see a big surprise there. Menzel on P18. I'm not sure what he was doing with the McLaren, especially compared to his teammate. Morbidelli P19. Gachot P20. Montermini P21. And here comes our teammate Verstappen on P22. Followed by Inoue and Katayama on P23 and 24. Diniz P25, and Moreno, as usual, closes the grid on P26. And here we are waiting for the start. And the lights are out, the race is on. Someone gets stuck on the grid already, including Berger in the Ferrari. And we have a good start again. We're already up to P11, right behind Herbert's Benetton. And we just try to overtake both of them. In fact, 3 of them, so we're up to P9, P8. We're fighting a bit with Irvine, but he just backs off. So we're up to P8 after the first 2 corners. And go right after Häkkinen, who is already looking on the inside. So we don't go after him, let him make the move on Frentzen. So he's up to P6, and thanks to this we can make a move on Frentzen and Häkkinen and Bouillon, so we're up to P5. That's an amazing start actually. So now we're following Brundle for P4. He built a bit of a gap, but nothing serious, as you can see. In the corners we can bring it back. So that's how much better we are on the corners. And we just try to make the move, brake too early, so Brundle gets the position back, but not here. Before the hairpin we overtake Brundle, and now we're up to P4, right behind the back of Michael Schumacher, who's currently on P3 behind the 2 Williams cars. So they're doing a great job on their home Grand Prix. And we're going for the corner, get a better exit. Schumacher goes wide, so we take the position. We're up to P3. And now the chase is on for the 2 Williams cars. Not the best corner, so they get a bit away, but here we can bring it back. And now we go for the straight. Coulthard is looking on the side of hill, I'm not sure he wants to go for the move or not. I think he's a bit too far for that. So yes, he doesn't go for the move, so we follow him all the way through. And here we are getting ready to make the move on Coulthard. Here we are catch up with Hill as well, who overtakes us back on the grass. So he's back to P1, but we're up to P2. And we're still very close to Hill. We might be able to make a move on this corner here. And he does the switch back and takes the position back again. Amazing job. He's really fighting for the win on this race. And yeah, again, we brake too early, so he gets the better exit. We'll go way too deep on the inside, force him a bit wide, and on the hairpin we'll leave him some space to work with. And what's it gonna be? He backs off. We're up to P1 after 2 laps of the race. We're in the lead. Amazing result, amazing. Now we just need to try and build a gap before the pit stops begin. A bit of a mistake going off the track. And yeah, we could be happy with that. And on P8, the tires are gone. So we actually had even a 5 seconds lead to Hill at some point, but with these tires it's difficult to keep it up. So unlike in France, I decided not to take any risks and do more laps. I'd rather go for 3 pit stops if it need be, but just try to get a better position. So yeah, this lap is gonna be out for a pit stop, and we'll see where we can come back. And here we go to the pits. And this time I actually knew where to come. Bit of an awkward pit stop. And by the looks of it, what's it gonna be? I'm not sure at this point. So now we're down to P7, P8. Yeah, Herbert is still behind us, so we're back to P8. That's not too bad. Definitely better than P20 after the first pit stop in France. So we just go after these guys here and try to take them down one by one to get back to where we were before. Well, not to P1, but at least to P3, 4, somewhere around that would be great. So easy overtake on Frentzen, and he doesn't even try to fight back. So we go after Häkkinen. Easy overtake on Brundle as well, though that might have been a bit too aggressive. And now we're after Bouillon, and we're faster in the straight than he is in the Sauber, so that should be easy. Yes, it is. He's already behind us, so we're up back to P4, and well, Schumacher is already half a century ahead, so that's not gonna be an easy job to catch up to him. More than 16-second gap. But P4 is actually pretty good starting from P17. So now we just try to close the gap to Schumacher and build another gap to make sure that on the next pit stop we can still come back to P4. And on lap 15, as you can see, we already built a huge gap to Frentzen. We're more than 20 seconds ahead of him. And Schumacher is only 7.5 seconds in front. So we're doing a pretty great job on this race. I definitely like this track more than that I do France. And for some reason, here we have quite a bad tire wear as well, but not even near the same as we had in France, like when the tires were gone in lap 6, and if you try to extend it with 2 more laps, then you were driving on soap. Actually, if I try to extend that with 2 laps, we still have a fairly good grip. That's enough to keep us in a good position until we go out for the pit stop. So the plan was to use this to our advantage and try to go through with preferably with 2 pit stops, but there's a high possibility that it's gonna be a third one at some point in the race. We just have to see what these tires will be able to take. And as you can see, lap 16, we're ready for the second pit stop, which means there will be a third pit stop as well at some point. We'll see how the race progresses, because at this point these tires just can't take it anymore. Schumacher already back up to an 8+ seconds lead. However, we're still 22 seconds ahead of Frentzen, so that should be enough to take us back to P4 after the pit stop. Here we go, and yeah, as you can see, the tires still have a fair amount of grip. Definitely not the best. It's already getting difficult to keep the car on the line, but at least it wasn't sliding every single movement. So yeah, that's pretty good. Definitely a lot better than the previous 2 races. A bit of a bump here. And here we go a little bit slower because we just don't want to take any risks. We don't even want to give a chance. And here, yes, the car slid a bit. So this is as far as these tires can go. No risks. Come straight out of the pit, out to the pits, and just get another set of fresh tires. Not an awkward pit stop this time, probably the first one in the season. So let's see if we can come back to P4. So here we go. Frentzen is still more than 5 seconds behind, 4 seconds. And yes, it looks like we made it. We're back in front of Frentzen, still on P4. So that's pretty good. And this time we have a 4-second gap already. So we just need to extend this to make sure that the third pit stop will bring us back to P4 as well. And on lap 20, as you can see, we actually cut the gap to Coulthard, who is out in the pits, and we're up to P3. So we're on P3 now, after the AI started to do the pit stops. And Schumacher is still minus ahead with more than 18 seconds. However, on lap 21, Schumacher is in the pits as well. And we come back to P2. He's right behind us, as you can see him in the mirror. So we're up to P2 now. That's just awesome. I mean, though, thanks to the tire wear, it's not a realistic expectations to hold on to this position. We'll have to do one more pit stop, probably within a few laps. As you can see, lap 22, we're going for that pit stop. We'll see where we're going to end up after it. Yeah, so here we go at the end of the lap. Go for the pit stop. Schumacher takes back P2, and Coulthard will take back his P3. So this was rather a safety pit stop to make sure that we can keep up a good speed to the end of the race. So just to avoid any risks that the car ends up sliding on the last 2 laps, or we just spin out, hit the wall, and DNF again. And yeah, this time we had the means to do that. We had the advantage compared to Frentzen and the rest of the pack to pull out a third pit stop without taking any serious risk of losing any positions. And on lap 26, we actually started to catch up with Coulthard. You can see him right there in the front. He's barely more than a second ahead. I'm not sure what happened to him at this point, but yeah, this actually gives us a chance to to fight for a podium on the remaining 4 laps. Or rather 3.5 here. But yeah, Coulthard's advantage is slowly melting away, and we're already right behind his back. We're within a second to Coulthard at this moment. And on the straight, he still manages to pull away a little, but that's not even near enough. We are very close, right before the fast right-hander. We already have a look, but we're too far to make the overtake. And here we just go on the inside of Coulthard. Not close enough, and here we just push him a bit more to the inside, and he gets the better exit, so he's still in P3. We're chasing him towards the first corner, and it's just not fast enough. We're actually faster in the straight than he is. And on the first corner we do the overtake. We're up to P3. We're on P3, and currently we're breaking the double podium for Williams in their home Grand Prix. Now all we have to do is just try to build a gap and make sure that Coulthard stays in P4. That would be an amazing result if we could break their double podium here. And of course a lot of points for us, and another podium, which would be I think the 3rd. And as you can see, we're about to lap a Ferrari again. That's a Ferrari and the 40 in front of us. So we're about to lap a Ferrari. That's the 2nd race of the season where I have no idea what Ferrari does, but we end up lapping one of them. And here the plan is just to catch up with those back markers, go through them, and hope that Coulthard gets stuck behind them for a while so we can build a bit of a gap. Actually, it's not even one of the 40s, it's one of the footworks. It's probably Inoue in the footwork. So we overtake him, and just looking behind to see if Coulthard gets stuck behind him, but he's definitely faster than him in the straight line, so no chance that he will get stuck behind him for a longer while. Yet we still have a more than 1 second gap to Coulthard, and we're catching up with the Ferrari in front of us. Not sure which one it is. Well, I actually think there should be only one, because one of them got stuck on the grid. And yes, we overtake the Ferrari. And here where you have these curbs changing right and left, there might be a chance that Coulthard gets stuck behind him, and we can just pull away a little so we can secure the podium place. So we go after the Pacific car in front of us. And as you've seen, there is still the Ferrari behind us, so that gives us some breathing space. We don't have to look in the mirrors constantly. And here we go, getting closer to the Pacific. Hopefully he just lets us pass. Here we go for the move. Bit of a mistake, too wide on the inside. And here we go, going a bit wide here, just to leave the Pacific some space. Who actually fights back. And here we look behind at the wrong moment, and it's a big mistake. I was looking at where Coulthard is, if he gets stuck behind the Pacific just like we did, and he takes the position back. He's back in P3 for the final lap of the race. That's the dumbest mistake I've ever made, seriously. I shouldn't have looked behind right in the corner. And now we just have to give it all and try to catch up with him. Thanks, mate. Great job. And now he's more than a second ahead. It's gonna be a really tough fight to try and overtake him. He's probably pushing like a madman as well, because at this point he's really fighting for the double podium on their home Grand Prix. So we're getting closer, but not quite close enough to make a move. And we go for a late break. It doesn't really work out. He's still around a second ahead. And we're running out of the lap, actually. We're very close to the end of the lap. And here we should already be on the inside of him. But we're still behind him. And now we're less than half a second behind him. But here we go towards the finish line. And there goes Coulthard to get P3. And the double podium for Williams. And here we are on P4. Damon Hill won his home Grand Prix, followed by Schumacher on P2 and Coulthard on P3, thanks to that mistake. And yeah, it's been actually an amazing race, a really good result, starting from P17. We even fought for the podium. We were even leading the race for a while. So yeah, there's absolutely no reason to complain. I think we just did everything that was possible on this one. So yeah, absolutely no reason to complain. Great race. Seems like our streak of bad luck is over. No DNF, no sliding, no fighting with the tire wear. And here's the winner, Damon Hill, in the Williams on his home Grand Prix. Well done to him. And in the background you saw Michael Schumacher as well on P2. Amazing race, really. I really loved it. So here are the final results. Hill, Schumacher, Coulthard, ourselves, Frentzen, Häkkinen, Herbert, Bouillon, Brundle, Irvine, Barrichello, Badoer, still an amazing result from a Minardi. One of them at least is always in the top 15, which is not bad from a bottom team. Panis, Lamy in the other Minardi, Montermini, Berger, quite down the grid, Morbidelli, Verstappen, Katayama, Gasho, Diniz, and the rest of the guys are out of the race. Yeah, so it was Berger's Ferrari that we were lapping. With the results confirmed, and here are the current standings. We're up to P4. Schumacher just pulled away quite heavily in the championship. Hill and Coulthard are still fairly in the fight against each other, and maybe Herbert can have a word or two as well if he has a better race than this one. And by the looks of it, we're going to fight it out for P4 with Frentzen, Berger, Lamy, and maybe even Häkkinen if he gets in a few good races. Here's the Constructors' Championship. Benetton has a massive lead, but Williams is catching up quickly and everyone else is just way behind. So we're probably gonna fight Sauber for P3. So yeah, this was the British Grand Prix. It's been an amazing race, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll be seeing you on the next race in Germany. Goodbye.